Hello everyone! I'm Lost, and we just got a new trailer for the Elden Ring DLC, and it looks pretty damn good. So let's go through it. Let's scrub the trailer and try to get as much information as we possibly can. I did this with my stream, and it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy.
Peggy 16.
So that means that you have to be 16 years to play this game. Now, if you look at this area though, it looks different. Is this area right here a shifting earth? You have these big trees, you have this castle, it looks different, although this is a standard castle. We've been in these before, this is not new, but this is new. That castle over there just farted. So here we have a new enemy. This one was from the DLC. That would be the Fire Knights. We are in a new location, at least a new shifting earth. Here we have a cave, which is clearly taken from the DLC. This is the Saint Trina cave. So there's going to be an area with sleep enemies. So that's going to be cool, especially for the new bonuses that we get in the Deep of Night. And also, this for the new mod that is out, I think this is going to be great. The Risk of Nightreign mod, I'll probably make a video on that later as well. That's going to be very interesting.
We must bring an end to it ourselves.
Must bring an end to it ourselves. That's them talking about the DLC. You know, oh, new big enemy. Who's it gonna be? That's not new though.
This Dreg Lord.
That's a cool image, and the Dreg Lord definitely going to be the final boss. Now, the Dreg Lord is interesting, right? Because if this DLC is called the Forsaken Hollows, it's definitely got that Dark Souls flavor to it. And the Dregs were what in Dark Souls 3 there was the enemies called Dregs, just the last remaining hollow human beings that dragged itself from the rubble, and I'm wondering if all of these guys are coalescing and turning into one big bad boy. Ooh, again, super cool. It reminds me a little bit about the crater. Now, this is probably not going to be as cratery. I think it's going to be a little bit more complicated to traverse than just running in a circle. I was wondering what that was. It almost looked to me for a quick moment like it was one of the giant trees from Dark Souls 2, but in reality this is just the jaw, and there was supposed to be a giant skull here. Now granted, if you beat the final Night Lord and you take a look at him later on in the cutscene, he is a little tree boy. He's an old Hellster, yes, but this does seem like a giant from Elden Ring. Here is a new character. She has a mace, definitely seems to be her unique weapon, because this is not the mace that you see in the game before, and she's about to use her abilities. Let's go back a bit, because she crashes into him, and it doesn't necessarily look like tentacles to me. It more looks like cosmic plants. We'll see. It also didn't look like she was done there. This superpower sends her crashing into the enemy, and it may be sending them back. So maybe she can use this ability from further away. Like, it's a little bit like the explosion of Wilder, but he needs to get in quick first. She might just use it from further away. Now, he is clearly using some sort of buff, or debuff rather, considering that he's stabbing them. Maybe the debuff here, since we are seeing a riposte, is that they are now... Maybe all enemies can automatically be riposted. Let's go back. And he also has a cane sword, I think this is. So he's going to be a holy man, maybe a noble. So here he uses his ability. I think... Is that guy crashing? So he's coming. It does look a little bit like he's about to kick. And you don't really see what he's doing to this guy, because it goes straight from this scene directly into him reposting him. But I'm going to assume that this debuff might just destabilize all the enemies in the area so that he can do a repost.
The aftermath of the long night.
Editing room lost here. I was so focused on the gameplay that I missed this little line that seemingly confirms that all of this takes place after beating Hellstore. Which makes sense. If you destroy the personification of night, that's gonna have some consequences. He's super cute. New character over here. And is this a new area? This must be a new area because he didn't sit there. This is a new location for our boy, leading into a church of some kind. Cool. Here we have our classic characters, and this doggo is of course the doggo of Hellster. I'm not a big fan of the dog enemies, they run a lot, but we'll see. If he just stays put, I wouldn't mind. I don't think he runs as much as the Red Wolf of Radigan. That boss is annoying as hell to deal with. So this could be both good and bad, depending on how he behaves in the open world. I'm curious. This is the Divine Dancing Lion. And it looks like... This looks like one of the Great Rune Towers that are in Elden Ring. You can see there's a little bit of flame there. So the question is this kind of like the final boss arena for this shifting earth? And here we have straight up a boss. Clearly you're going to be fighting this angelic character with a lot of different clones. And I have to say, already this looks goddamn fantastic. I love the design.
Suppose it must be fate at work again.
Another reason to think that this here is a DLC that focuses on the Souls games. This is Artorias, and he looks great. He's a bit of a slower boss compared to all of the different bosses in Elden Ring, but combining Artorias with perhaps the Abyss Watchers from Dark Souls 3 would give this guy much more movement. I think it would be a perfect fit. This is how this boss was introduced to us in Dark Souls 1. You have like an enemy and then he jumps on top and he just tosses him at you. That is Wilder. You can see the Wilder shield. So maybe this here is a move. Yeah. So these are two different scenes. He's just standing there aura farming, as the kids would say. And then boom. And it could be an invasion. I would not be mad if this was an invasion, because as you can see here, it's in the forest, but I think it's more likely to be a day 2 boss, as you could see the big tree here in the background. Yeah, it's an end of the day boss. I think that's the most likely thing. And this could probably be just an attack that they took the cutscene, modified it, and I really hope that when Wilder is being flung, that he would act as a projectile and that he could hurt somebody. I would love that. This looks gnarly. Look at the background. Look at all of the crap coming. This is corpses rising from the ground. It's very difficult to see, but there has been some leaks saying that this boss right here is a Midir reskin. And that would make sense because Midir was a boss that was infused or poisoned or whatever you want to call it with humanity. And so maybe that is the element that they're taking even further in this one. Why does the sky have teeth? Because it's scary. The Forsaken Hollows. The hollows that we left behind. Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Here we have two new characters. This lady and this gentleman. I guess we don't really know exactly what she's about, but she does have a mace. So it would not be surprising if she focuses on the smaller blunt weapons in the game, which I do think is very necessary. Not entirely certain if we needed a character that focuses on rapiers. Maybe that's not just his entire thing, of course, but we have other characters that do really well with rapiers. But hey, I guess we'll see. Elden Ring, the Forsaken Hollows, 2 additional Nightfarers, 2 additional bosses, so it will be the dragon, the Dreg Lord, I guess, and this lady. Additional Shifting Earth. So there is 1 additional Shifting Earth. And more will probably include more weapons, or at least 2 new weapons, because you have the basic weapons from the 2 new characters, and there will be the new enemies. So we have, another reused boss. I'm sure people will complain. She does look a lot like a Bloodborne character, in my opinion. A mix between a Bloodborne character and Sister Fried. That's a nice weapon. Here we have the 2 new characters and a nice look at the new Limweld Shifting Earth, or at least the new boss Sky. That's something. That enemy I don't think we've fought. I do not think we have fought a Rhea Lucaria troll. So at least we're getting new versions of old enemies. You know what? An Inquisitor. She strikes me as a character that would walk the path of Velka from Dark Souls. Sexy nun assassin? I hate you, chat. Here's another Shifting Earth, or more of the Shifting Earth. This big thing is going to be a centerpiece, and I'm guessing that they're going to be building around it. It could be more extreme than the other ones, but looking at the original Shifting Earths from Nightreign, they did look bigger than what they were, in my opinion. So, not holding my breath. Here's the other boss. We saw that. And, well, that's all she wrote right here. Why is there so many negative people? What did they say? No news, and we're halfway through the 4th quarter for the year. I usually trust FromSoft, but damn, I'll change my review once they release something. Well, there you go. I wish I could refund this. Don't buy this shit. It's literally false advertising. The OST includes 10 songs. What the hell is this? It's weird. This is weird.